for you. Trying out Santa Fe's State Pen Porter Ale. It is a 6.4 alcohol by volume porter, and it's not very descriptive on the labeling, so I don't really see any kind of date on it or any kind of real explanation as to what to expect from this beer. But I got this with the Amazing Club's American Beer Club thing. Get a bunch of different beers, and the kind of publication that comes with each set called the Frosted Mug. States here, Santa Fe Brewing Company out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. It says it's located in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was established in 1988. New Mexico's first craft brewery, and has since become the largest brewery in the state. Beers are distributed out the southwest United States. In 2010, Santa Fe Brewing became the first brewery in New Mexico to produce canned beer. It's interesting. The brewery was founded by Michael in 1996. Levi sold the business to a partnership formed by his son Ty, along with Dave Forrester, Brian Locke, and Carlos Muller. Locke bought out the other three partners in 2003 to become the sole owner. 2005, Santa Fe Brewing moved its operation to a much larger facility, which was the former Wolf Canyon Brewery near Interstate 25. Doubled the brewery's capacity from 15 to 30 barrels, and the annual production increased from 1750 in 2004 to 6,000 barrels in 2007. Serious expansion. 2010, Santa Fe Brewing began offering its Freestyle Pilsner and Happy Camper IPA in cans, becoming the first brewery in New Mexico to do so. And that's a little bit of the history on the company itself. For this particular beer, it says, trademark beer of Santa Fe Brewing Company's master brewer, Ty Levi. The State Pen Porter has every reason to be one of his favorites. It is flavorful, swimming with notes of nuts and chocolate. It is drinkable, so drinkable that it is almost as if pint after pint were drinking itself. And it says here, it's the best of the Rockies Southwest region winter tastings, the U.S. Beer Tasting Championship. Not bad. Well, I would usually say this beer ain't gonna drink itself, but apparently it can. So, let's see what we got. A little bit of smoke coming out of the top. Very, very dark mahogany amber type of a look to it. A little bit of a smell coming out the bottle. I'm sure I'll get more out of the pour. Alright, got us a nice thing and a quarter of head. I got thick fingers. Light-wise, can't really see through it, but this is a pretty hefty mug. It's a 25-ounce mug, so a lot of beer to try to look through. Now, where you can see light through it, it tends to be a real dark mahogany color, kind of a reddish amber kind of a tint going on with it. Head appears to be thick, dissipating relatively quickly, but it's taking its time. Little small bubbles in the head with a couple of larger bubbles in place. Nice dark tan going on with it. Smell wise, what have we got going on here? Malty. I'm not really picking up anything individual necessarily. It's kind of malty smelling. Maybe a little maybe a little chocolatey. As you can see, the head's starting to dissipate. It leaves a very light. It leaves a heavy lacing that dissipates kind of quick. Let's see what's going on here with the drink before it drinks itself. Not quite as creamy as I expected it to be, but it's definitely not. It's a little more watery than I expected it to be, but by no means is it watery. I'm just referring to how it feels versus the coloring and the way it pours. Malty, kind of got a kind of a dark chocolate bite to it. A little bit of a nuttiness going on there. Have a dark fruitiness going on there to it as well. The aftertaste is kind of bitter, but it's not like a hoppy bitterness. It's more of like a chocolatey, like a real dark chocolate, but also kind of a hint of a coffee flavor going on there in the aftertaste. Initial flavor is a bit malty, but not overly. Nice well-rounded amount of carbonation to it. Kind of helps lighten it up a little bit. Almost to the point of being watery, but it's not quite watery. There's a malty creaminess to it, but it's clean. It's got a very clean aftertaste going on to it. That's, like I said, leaves something else going on with that aftertaste there. Almost like the aftertaste you get from something that's been smoked. The lacing actually appears to be a little heavier than I was anticipating it being, by the way the head was acting. Attractive lacing to it, the way it kind of layers and cascades. There's nothing really overly prevalent in the flavor. Everything's kind of blending into each other in a way where I can't really pick out any specific strong flavor other than perhaps strong chocolate kind of coffee kind of a flavor going on with it. A little bit of a nuttiness to it on the back end. Like I said, kind of got some smoky characteristics to it, which I kind of wasn't really expecting. Yeah, I got a little bit of a fruity undertone to it, but it's not prevalent. It's not up front, and mostly it's kind of just a nutty chocolate coffee kind of thing going on there. Very, very dominant kind of a roasty malt thing going on there. Getting toward the bottom, I can see through the light a little bit through the bottom there. It's kind of a little bit of a caramel look to it, and the brownish shade of it, kind of a dark blonde. But it's also mostly mahogany, kind of a red amber hint to it. But drinkable beer, very drinkable beer. It's lighter than I expected it to be. I expected it to be a little heavier just by the sight of it and the way it poured. And the way that, ooh, excuse me. Like I said, it does have a little bit of carbonation to it. I'd put it in the nice medium range as far as carbonation goes. It's not too much, but it's definitely, it's there. Get the final chug. Yeah, a good beer, and it definitely tastes like a porter. It's a typical porter as far as the maltiness, and the bitterness kind of comes from like a chocolatey coffee type of a flavor going on with it. The fruitiness is there, but in the background there's a little hint of nuttiness, like roasted nut flavoring to it as well. A hint of hops in the aftertaste, but nothing like, you know, an IPA or anything like that. The bitterness appears to be coming from, it's got a smoky aspect to it. I just was not expecting that. I know they make one that's aged in smoke barrels, but I don't believe this one is. I mean, it didn't say anything about it being aged like that, but there's a smokiness. There's something going on with it. I can't quite put my finger on. But yeah, I guarantee you I'll end up drinking another one of these. Good beer. Santa Fe Brewing, and you can reach him at santafebrewing.com. That's the cap if you're interested, and actually the website is printed across the side of the cap. I enjoyed it, and it did almost drink itself. I may end up having another, and I'll just blame it on the pint. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up with that. This Santa Fe Porter Ale out of New Mexico, Santa Fe Brewing Company. And I hope you enjoyed the review as much as I enjoyed drinking it. I'm sorry, making it. And if you hadn't subscribed, please do so. Check out some other videos. I try to put out 3 a week. Sometimes I miss by 1. You know, life, 4-letter word. But anyway, once again, appreciate you watching, and keep in touch, and I will catch up with y'all later. Cheers.